Hello students and welcome to the e-learning program initiated by Sri Gyan Manjri Vidyapeeth for the students of Standard 10, in which we are learning the subject of social science. Students, we had started with chapter number 18, one of the last chapters of the economics part of this syllabus. Name of the chapter is Price Rise and Consumer Awareness. Students, this is the sixth lecture in this chapter, so let us take a quick recap of what we have learned in the previous lectures for this chapter. We were learning price rise. As we know, this chapter is distributed into two parts. One is price rise. Another one important aspect of any economy of any country is consumer awareness. So we have up till now been dealing with the price rise, in which we learned the definition or the meaning of price rise, what is meant by price rise. Then we learned about the benefits of price rise. If it is steady, constant, and reasonable, then the price rise is good for economy. It is good for the people also, because people also benefit from it. Not only the country's economy, but people also benefit from it. At the same time, if the price rise is haphazard or invariable, then it can become an hindrance or an obstacle in the progress of the economy of the country. Then we dealt with two major factors that are responsible for price rise, and we learned about the plan and non-plan expenditure done by the government. Most important of all are the reasons for price rise, in which we learned about lots of reasons which are uh, the main things responsible for price rise in a country. Increases in the monetary supply by the government with the help of lots of various schemes, various celebrations, etc. For the benefit of the people, lots of fairs are kept. For all that, the government expends a lot of money, and that money goes in the hands of the people, and so government itself increases monetary supply in the country, and in that way, uh, it is also responsible for the price rise in the country. Population rise is one of the leading factor, because population of our country is quite high. It is the second highest in the second highest populated country in the world, and we also have a substantial population growth, that is 1.92%. That's quite high. So population rise is a very big factor, because that keeps on demanding, that's on keeping the demand higher and higher, but the supply remains the same, sometimes a little bit more, but most of the time it is less than the demand. So what happens is the price keeps on rising. Then increase in export after the liberal policies that we accepted in 1991. Because of that, lots of things started exporting, because they were quite in demand in the other countries. So we started exporting that, and we ignored the local demand, where so the local demand kept on going high, and the supply was quite less because of the export that gave to rise to the price rise. Then high price of raw material, usage of non-registered income, that is black money, that also causes lots of price rise. Done by the government, that we learned. Natural factors are also responsible, which in turn makes the goods and commodities dearer, because at that time, during the times of calamities, production becomes zero, demand is as usual, but the supply becomes less, or supply gets stopped, so it gives rise to the prices. Smuggling, hoarding, and black market, that yet another ways to earn money, but at the same time it poses a great harm to the economy of the country by doing the price rise. Then we learned about the steps to control prices, in which there are five of them. We learned first the monetary measures taken by the government, then the fiscal measures in depth. We have learned there are lots of points in it, and these are all independent. 4 marks clubbed together, it becomes quite a huge question. Control on capital investment is the third step taken by the government to monitor the price rise. Price regulation and rationing is yet another way to make the poor people totally unaffected by the price rise. So poverty in the country does not become on an increase. This we are going to learn from today. Today we are going to learn. This is one of the last of the points of steps that are taken to control the price rise, and also this is one of the last point in the topic of price rise. Administered price mechanism. Administered. What we can say is to prevent hoarding and to maintain the prices of essential goods at reasonable level and to ensure their easy availability, the government fixes the price of certain commodities. This is called administered price mechanism. In other words, the government administers the price of commodities in the market. It asks the traders to sell the goods at fixed prices, and that also decided by the government. Yes, we have MRP on each and every product that we buy. The MRP is decided by the company. At the same time, the company is also answerable for the prices that it keeps. Government now and then keeps a check on them. And for various commodities, we talked about MSP, minimum support price, right? So that no dealer buys grains from the farmers below that price. Each and every farmer knows that this is the MSP decided by the government. So if I sell my wheat, if I sell my grain, if I sell my other spices and condiments, then this is the rate fixed by the government to stop the cheating. So that farmer is aware that I should get at least this much because this is the rate fixed by the government. So that is called administered, so that the producer as well as the seller, the producer as well as the buyer, the rate of that commodity gets fixed so that cheating does not happen. The producer is not forced to sell the product below his cost price. He gets a little bit profit, and at the same time the end user, that is you and me, consumers, we do not get cheated by the middleman, because the more number of middlemen will be there, the more number of their commission will keep on adding, and at the end an 18 rupee item will be in our hands at the rate of 36 rupees, right? We are paying just a double, right? So with the help of administered price mechanism, the government assures that the end user, that is the customer, is also not cheated. The producer, one who produces that commodity, is also not cheated. And unnecessarily, the people that are in the middle of the transaction from the producer to the end user, they do not make unnecessary benefit of the situation. So to prevent hoarding and to maintain the prices of essential goods at a reasonable level, suppose we go to the agriculture market, that is mandi, right? Each and every day farmers keep on bringing their vegetables, grain according to the season. When they enter the gate, there is usually a signboard which tells them that today your onions will be bought at this price, so that before entering the market he knows that today I will be selling my products at this rate, my agricultural products at this rate, so he does not get cheated. And at the same time, the dealer cannot make use of unnecessary force to cheat the farmer and take away his agricultural products at quite a cheap rate and unnecessarily take a huge benefit out of it. So essential goods at reasonable level, and to ensure that easy availability is there. That is also necessary because of the evil like hoarding and black marketing. Things disappear from the market to create an artificial scarcity, and thus when the prices rise, those people will keep on selling their products because they have hoarded it, and they will sell it in the black market and earn huge profits. So to see that constant easy availability is there, the government fixes the price of certain commodities. This is called administered price mechanism. So it asks the traders to sell the goods at fixed prices decided by the government. To keep the price level under control, the government has implemented a law. Please understand this law. Essential Commodities Act 1955. A very, very important thing for you to remember, Essential Commodities Act 1955, under which the people who are doing hoarding, black marketing, smuggling, these people can be booked, or cases can be held against them for violating Essential Commodities Act. Now, what are essential commodities? For example, we now and then talk about potatoes and tomatoes and salt and edible oil, all these things. So they are essential commodities because they are required in a day-to-day requirement for preparing our food or cooking food. These are the essential things that are required, right? So it is not a plaything, and it is not because we are common people, we go to our work every day, we do not know the prices of all these things, but the government regularly keeps a check on it and sees that nobody makes undue advantage by hoarding such things. Yes, we now and then in our lessons also we have talked that people have so much money that they make these commodities disappear from the market, and they stack it in their godowns because those commodities are not available in the market. There will be arising an artificial scarcity, and prices will start zooming upwards. Yes, within no time, a commodity which was priced at 20 rupees per kg will be available at 50 to 60 rupees per kg, because an artificial scarcity was created by these miscreants who were hoarding for the purpose of profiteering or black marketing. So when it is 50 rupees, 60 rupees, they'll start selling it at 3 times the prices. They just got it at 10 rupees, 15 rupees at the time when it was quite low, and they hoarded it and made the product disappear from the market. Then if potato or onion is kept under the Essential Commodities Act 1955, then those people who are caught hoarding, black marketing, profiteering, they can be booked under this. So provision should be there. Provision should be there where these people can be punished under law. So this is a very, very important act for you to remember, Essential Commodities Act 1955. As per this act, if the trader does not sell goods according to the prices fixed by the government, it can initiate proceedings against the trader and penalize him. Punish him either by sending him to jail or by fining him quite a lot of money. Under PASA, another very important thing for you to understand is PASA. PASA. Full form is Prevention of Antisocial Activities Act. Right? This is yet another step towards keeping the prices under control, because it is those people who hoard the items, who stock the items, make them disappear from the market, create artificial scarcity, and then when the prices zoom, they start selling their products because they are now achieving a lots of huge profit from it, right? So these people can be booked under Essential Commodities Act 1955 plus another act, that is PASA, that is Prevention of Antisocial Activities Act. The government initiates legal proceedings, that means court map. The police will arrest you and produce you in the court, and which case will be run on you? PASA, right, under Essential Commodities Act 1955. Prevention of antisocial activities, the government initiates proceedings and undertakes intensive campaigns against hoarders, black marketeers and speculators. Yes, those who spread the rumor. Government also takes legal steps like putting control on the stock of commodities kept in the godown of the traders. Yes, erstwhile era, when uh, the cement factories, where they were not in producing enough cement to cater to the demands of the country. At that time, cement often went into the black market, right? So from that time onwards, yes, the government is constantly changing its rules and regulations. So nowadays, a constant check is kept on the go down that please show us the transactions that have entered your go down. Yes, 100 truckloads of uh, one such commodities, right? Out of that, you say 100 truckloads are here. Yes, now you, when the inspectors start checking, it is 130 truckloads of that particular commodity. So that means you are unnecessarily hiding. On paper, on register, you are just showing 100 truckloads, but then you have 130 truckloads over here. Yes, what about the extra 30 truckloads that you have? Then why are you keeping it? Why is that not in the account book? So in this way, performing surprise checks now and then without telling, without informing, they just go and stand at the shop, or they just go and stand at the uh, storehouses or warehouses and check what are the stock in the inventory. Asking traders to put stock register on display. The stock register should be there, it should be maintained up to date, and the stock in the storehouse should be equal to the register that is displayed. Yes, maintaining price register also. Yes, I got this commodity at this price, this was my cost, I wanted this much profit, and this is the selling price of my commodity, right? So they must be maintaining price register also, taking strict punitive against defaulters or against the culprits. Yes, so two things you have to learn. In the previous paragraph we learned about Essential Commodities Act 1955 and PASA, that is Prevention of Antisocial Activities Act. Recently, now all these items are under PASA, right? You cannot hoard them, you cannot black market them, and still more and more items are included in the Essential Commodities Act, so that people can be booked under PASA, and the prices which are becoming invariable, or we cannot just guess where the prices are going. So these prices can be controlled. Prices of onion, rice, cotton, cement, edible oil, petrol, diesel, domestic gas, kerosene, sugar, aluminum, iron, steel, railway freight, etc. were regulated under administered price mechanism. So these are to be fixed, and whatever changes happen, fluctuations can happen, but they should be around that fixed marginal price. Yes, they should not be skyrocketing. Aaj 10, kal 80, parso 240. No, it cannot happen that way. So this is called administered price mechanism. Even some life-saving drugs nowadays, very important and should be there in you. Life-saving drugs are also covered under this mechanism. For example, the stat, जो हार्ट में रखते हैं, right? Exorbitant money was extorted from the patients and their family, right? Nowadays the government has given a price mechanism for that. Whichever doctor, whichever medicine store or the hospital is trying to take more than the price fixed by the government can be booked under PASA, right? Or some court proceedings can happen, punishments can happen if they take more than the designated price given by the government. So in this way, the government is trying maximum to cover more and more commodities and life-saving drugs also, so that people are not cheated with the price rise. So here we come to the near the end of the topic of price rise. This is one of the last questions. The effort to control price rise are not independent or different from each other, but they are complementary or dependent on each other, because there are lots and lots of thousands and thousands of commodities in the market, and they are sold at various prices. The same commodity manufactured by different producers, they have a different price range, right? So in this way, it becomes quite difficult for the government to keep a tab and control on it. So it implements lots and lots of ways to keep the price under control. So price rise is very common everywhere. You go anywhere in the world today, which was available at 10 units, maybe after some days, after some months, after some years, it will become 12 per unit, right? So in this way, price rise is a very common yet a sensitive matter for any economy. There are several ways in which price rise. It depends on factor to factor. Yes, this year the floods affected the wheat crop. So this year the price is going to rise. Next year it was quite a beautiful monsoon season and appropriate rainfall was there as per the desired timings. So we had a bumper crop. And what happened is there was such a huge amount of wheat production in the country that prices came down instead of going up. So prices will fluctuate, right? But there are several ways in which the price can increase, and so there are several ways in which the prices can be controlled. Each and every commodity has a different way to be controlled. The same cannot be applied to another, right? So there are many ways where many reasons why prices are increasing, and in the same way there can be lots of different ways in which prices of the commodity can be controlled. Moreover, it's quite possible that prices may not come under control even after doing whatsoever steps taken by the government. So by taking only one action, by taking only one step, it is not possible that prices of that commodity might come down. So at the same time, government has to implement lots of different steps so that prices of that particular commodity comes down. At the same time, it has to do raids on lots of storehouses. It has to ask the people not to buy from people who are selling that on black marketing. At the same time, it has to book with the people who are selling that essential commodity in black marketing. So various and multiple steps have to be taken by the government to make the prices of that commodity come down. So in most of the cases, the price rise, government takes several steps one by one, or it can take multiple actions together to see that prices come down, whatever it has to do, right? To make you people work. Yes, individual actions are also taken to make you people do work. Entire class is punished so that everybody gets a lesson and the work is also done. So in that way, either one step or multiple steps can be taken. Also, there is no solution, because if today it was a problem, we solved it with one solution, that same solution may not work next time, or it may not work next year. So there is no short solution for controlling the price rise. Using more than one way is a complementary way. It's a good way too, and that's the only key. Yes, whichever situation, we have to deal with the situation at that time, appropriate actions taken to tumble the price rise. That actions, they are welcomed and also essential to control the price rise. So with this, we finish the first part of the chapter, that is price rise. Now we come to the second part of the chapter, that is consumer awareness. Now same thing again, who is a consumer? Consumer awareness, okay, but then first problem is consumer किसको बोल, हम किसको consumer बोलेंगे, right? Before going to the explanation, yes, who is a consumer? You place a demand in front of your parents, especially father, right? So father goes to the market and buys you something that you want. Now father ने तो उसको हाथ भी नहीं लगाया, he just paid for it. Yes, right from the counter you took possession of that thing. Father never opened the box, he never took out that thing, and he never used it. And the third day, as usual, it is not working. Yes, हमारा हाथ में कहाँ सामान टिकता है, नहीं टिकता. So on the third day, it is not working. Now the father goes back to the shop. Shop वाला ये पूछेगा, सर आपने इसको यूज किया? फादर बोलेगा मैं तो यूज नहीं किया. तो बोला आप कंज्यूमर नहीं है. किसने यूज किया? बेटे ने, बेटी ने यूज किया. Yes, then उसने पैसा पे किया. बोला नहीं, then he is not a consumer, she is not a consumer. Then who is a consumer? Right? So let us understand first thing, who can be called a consumer. This is specific definition because these things are challengeable in the court. Please understand. साबुन की टिक्की 20 रुपया वाला 22 रुपये में अगर कंज्यूमर स्टोर वाला बेचता है आपको, प्रोविजन स्टोर वाला, you won't take him into to the court for 2 rupees, but then you should take him, right? So consumer awareness, first thing is who is a consumer, because these things are debatable in the court, right? So we should have a proper definition. First thing is we should understand who is a consumer and who is not a consumer. So who is a consumer? A person who purchases goods, that is your father, or services. He purchases the services, that net that you use, internet that you use is purchased by your father, right? You are using it and he doesn't know what you are using. So a person who purchases goods or services, that is your parents, for personal use is called a consumer. So if your father has bought a product or service, he has paid for it, then he is a consumer. He has allowed his family members to use it, then all of you are consumers, right? For example, we buy groceries, we buy clothes, fuel for our vehicles, electricity, insurance, mediclaim, taking banking services, hospital services, etc. We are all consumers because we pay for the services or we pay for the commodities we buy. Commodities or goods that we buy, we pay. When we pay, we become consumers. When we are taking services, for example, we take the services of the bank, then we are consumers of the bank. We take services of the communication services, the mobile handsets that you use, उसमें जो सिम कार्ड सर्विसेज होता है, that is communication service. Yes, mobile किसी भी कंपनी का हो, सिम कार्ड किसी भी कंपनी का हो, right? But the mobile allows the use of that SIM card, and SIM card allows you communication with the help of the subscriber company with which you are tied up, right? So whatever we are using, whether it is goods, commodities we have bought, or the services also we have bought, we are all consumers. We means all of us who are taking the services, plus if I have bought it and my family uses it, your family has bought it and your family uses it, then I am also consumer of that company or that product. You are also the consumer of that company or you use that product. So in today's time, every producer is a consumer. Every producer is also a consumer. Because if a farmer is producing wheat, it doesn't mean that he eats that wheat also. No, it's not that meaning. The meaning is, if the farmer is producing wheat and selling all that wheat in the market, getting money from it, and then he goes to the market to buy lots of other things except wheat. Wheat to ghar mein pada hai. But he needs clothing, he needs fuel, he needs vehicles, electricity, insurance. He goes out and pays the bills. So each and every producer is a consumer himself because he also purchases lots of things. He also uses services of lots of things, right? So who is a consumer? Person who purchases goods or services is called a consumer. Examples given by grocery, clothes, etc. In today's time, producer is also a consumer. Even if a producer produces thousands of different commodities and services, then also he will always have to buy some commodities from the market for personal use, right? So this very example we just learned, that a person produces wheat and he sells it in the market, and with the money that he got, he buys lots and lots of things from the market for the survival of himself, his family, to feed his family, to clothe his family, to give health, education to his family. He needs lots and lots of things for shelter, that is for house purpose, household purpose, to run the house. He needs lots of things. So a producer is also customer nowadays. In layman's language, simple language, consumers and customers are considered same. However, technically they are different. There are two words over here. Don't confuse yourself. Consumer and customer. Layman language जो language आप समझते हो. Layman's language, simple language. आपके लिए customer और consumer में कोई difference नहीं है. But technically there is a difference between consumer and a customer. So let us see that difference. Who is a customer? Who is a consumer? This side is customer. If you can see that, well, good. I'll just write CUST so that you can understand. I'll write over here CUNSU, consumer, right? So who is a customer? Who is a consumer? The purchaser of goods or services is known as the customer. So your father is a customer if he has gone to the market and bought you a mobile or a book. He is the customer of that shop because that person was responsible for doing the payment, right? The end user of the goods or services is known as the consumer. So here we see that here it's Papa who is the customer, and here it is you who is the consumer. Yes, पापा बुक लेके आते हैं खरीद के मार्केट से, स्टेशनरी शॉप से. He is the customer because he has paid for it. You are the user because आपके लिए खरीदी है. Yes, he is not going to read 10th standard any of the textbook. Yes, उसने सब खत्म करके बैठे हैं, right? So he becomes the customer who has paid. He is the purchaser of the goods, and the end user is you. Yes. Now, a customer may be agent or processor who by purchasing goods or raw material may be producing something and then reselling it. Your neighbor. The neighbor has bought a book of 40 rupees and sold it to you for 50 rupees because you were in need. He says, मैं तो भाई 50 रुपया का ये दिया है. Yes, आपको 50 रुपये देने पड़ेगा. Yes, आपको जरूरत है तो देनी पड़ेगी. Right? So इतना पैसा देना पड़ेगा. So customer may be an agent. Yes, your neighbor went to the market and bought a notebook for you at rupees 40, but he sells to you, reselling it. Or he processes something on it. So the purchaser of cotton, not be me, it might be a dealer who makes yarn out of it, right? So he is doing some processing, and that processed part is yarn. Cotton में से yarn उसने बनाया, then he sells the yarn at a higher cost, right? Because he has done some processing work, he has put in some money and producing something and then reselling it. Whereas consumer does not buy the good or services for the purpose of reselling. Yes, you bought the book, but you do not intend to sell it. Have you ever sold your fare book? No, you have never sold your fare book. You have always lost your fare book whenever we ask for it. Right? So consumer does not buy the goods or material for reselling it. He consumes it himself. Yes. Now, customer, the price of the good that the customer buys is to be paid by the customer. Yes. So father went to buy you a notebook for 50 rupees. Then he has to pay 50 rupees from his pocket. Right? The consumer may or not be paying the money for the goods. Did you pay? No. Papa paid it, so you are consumer. That is the difference between customer. So if Papa was out for 3 days, right, then you had no other option to but to take the money from your savings piggy bank, and with that 50 rupees from your saving bank you went and bought the book. So at that time you are the customer also, you are the consumer also, but consumer may or may not be paying. For example, parents pay for the food, but it is consumed even by the children. That means children are not buying, yet they are consumers, right? So this is the difference between a customer and a consumer. Please understand this very well. Yes, because as I said, these things, they are very important, because for lots of reasons people go to the court, right? Then there arises a difference between consumer and a customer. So you should be able to have this for knowledge. Consumer awareness and consumer protection. What is consumer awareness? And the second point is, what is consumer protection? Why protection should be given to the consumer? So first thing is, what is consumer awareness? The process of making consumers aware about their rights. Yes, rights में तो आप लोग बहुत समझते हो. Yes, कोई definition देने की जरूरत नहीं है. You very well understand what are your rights. Yes, and you always say no to duties, right? So the process of making consumers aware, the first thing is the consumer should be made aware that he has certain rights. Half of India doesn't know we have rights as a consumer, right? So rights related to the products and services that they buy, that is called consumer awareness. To make the consumer aware that he has certain rights when he buys some product, some commodity, from some service from the market, he has rights, right? So to make the people aware that they have rights, that is called consumer awareness. And what is consumer protection? Today, many items having similar features but belonging to different brands are available in the market. Yes, आप लोग के लिए तो Maggi is a lifeline, right? Without Maggi, you cannot think about life, right? But you go to the market, lots of noodles are available belonging to different brands. For example, Maggi hai, to Yippee bhi hai, Yippee hai, to something else is also there. So they are all offering the same thing. Understand? If we go to buy tea, lots and lots of companies are selling tea under various brands, various names. We go to buy soaps. Yes, oh, jo jagwala ghiste ho, right? So when we go to buy soaps, lots and lots of brands are available, right? You go to buy any single thing in the market, you will find lots of various companies selling you the same thing under different brands, under different prices, right? So under different brands, that is understood, but under different prices, at the end you are getting the same thing, right? अभी निरमा से ना हो, या वो कपड़ा धोने वाला निरमा से ना हो, या लक्स से ना हो, यस, वो bubbles तो आएंगे. That much is enough, यार, if you don't want to understand what is consumer awareness, right? So here comes the most important thing. Illiterate. Who are we? We are educated illiterate. Who are we? We are educated illiterate. So we are at a higher position than that illiterate ones, right? So illiterate people, those who do not know reading, writing, yes, they cannot, even might be knowing in their local language, but then they do not know lots of words of English. So most of the times you must have seen at the back, because the same item is sold in multiple states, lots of states. Yes, so usually they resort to English, right? So you must have seen lots of things are written on it. So illiterate, ignorant and unaware consumers who do not have complete knowledge or information about such things get fooled easily by buying fake or poor quality goods. I'd like to give a star mark to this point. Why? Why star mark to the point? we're talking about consumer awareness. Now, I say a consumer. You are a consumer if you go to buy 1 kg sugar to the kirana wala. Same way, a small poor child belonging to a very poor family, he will also come with a 20 rupee note and ask the shopkeeper to give him sugar for 20 rupees. You are paying 1 kg, 40 rupees same. He has come with 20 rupees. That is a customer also and that is a consumer also. Understand what we are trying to say over here is you are an educated child. I shouldn't say a child, 15 years, so I shouldn't say a child. Okay, you are uh, quite well educated and there's a small uneducated, he doesn't go to the school. Yes, so he's a small child sent by the mother with a 20 rupee note. He has come, he doesn't have the knowledge how much uh, sugar he is going to get for 20 rupees. He doesn't have any knowledge of the quality of the thing that is going to be given to him. When that kirana wala is pouring that sugar in that polythene bag, yes, you see a lots of dust arising from it. You make him stop. No, I don't want this. I want good quality sugar. Right? So that sugar is given to that poor little child. Yes, half a kg, whatever. Right? He doesn't know. He is also consumer. Both of you are a customer over there. Yes, but he is illiterate. He is ignorant also because he is yet a child. He is and unaware. He is totally unaware. उसके लिए that's a burden. I was playing और बीच में से मम्मा ने कान पे मारा एक बोला जा आधा किलो चीनी लेके आ. Right? So he is three things. He is illiterate also. He is ignorant also, and he is unaware also. Who is responsible for that child? The government is responsible for that child, right? Who do not have complete knowledge or information about such things, they get fooled very easily. The child doesn't know what he is taking by buying fake or poor quality goods. Yes? Now, let us also understand with the help of another example of really what this means. You have a big TV at home. What's written on it? You can read. This is Sony, right? You can read it. You understand this is a registered company. This is an international brand, right? Your neighbor is having a TV. This thing is written on it. Yet another place you see you got the original one, these two people got a fake one. They were sold the TV telling them that this is Sony TV. He is illiterate, he is unaware, he is not educated, and is ignorant also. Because before going to the market to buy TV, he had Sony in mind, but he did not know that this is the spelling of Sony. So he went to the market, he bought either this one or this one. Yes, can anybody tell me the real spelling of Philips? Is also an international brand, electronics. So in this way, people are cheated. Fake goods, नकली सामान उनको बेच दिया जाता है, राइट? और वो खरीद के पछताते हैं क्योंकि ये ज्यादा दिन चलता नहीं है. चल गया तो चल गया, otherwise they cheated, right? So we come up to the point: illiterate, ignorant, and unaware consumers, they go to the market and they buy फॉल्स गुड्स, फेक गुड्स, नकली सामान खरीद के लाते, आधा टाइम यूज करके फेंक देते, उसके बाद पता चलता है हमने क्या खरीदा था, राइट? So who do not have complete knowledge or information about such things will easily get fooled by buying fake or poor quality goods. There are several middlemen between producers and consumers, and so the consumers get exploited in many ways. There are lots of middlemen. These middlemen, they don't do anything. ना वो चीज पैदा करते, they are not the producers, nor yes, they just earn lots of money just by passing things from one end to another, mixing a little bit here and there, and spurious items are sold by this middleman. So the consumers, they get exploited in many ways. The system which sees that goods and services that consumer buy are of good quality, proper weight, at a reasonable price is known as consumer protection, and that is why I have given a star mark. These are very important things to remember. What is consumer awareness? The system. What is it is not one thing. It is not a single code. It is a whole system that deals with protecting the rights of the consumer. That is called consumer protection. So we'll do it again. What is consumer protection? The system which sees that the goods or services the consumers buy are of good quality. Now, how can we assure that what we are buying is really what is written on top of it, or what is really advertised on the TV? There are lots and lots of, you can see soaps. Yes, most of the time you'll see movie actress advertising for these soaps. You'll see lots of cricketers, movie stars, celebrities advertising for soaps, creams, all these consumables, right? So because they are so well advertised on the TV, because they are so well advertised in the newspaper, are they really that good? Or are the consumers cheated by doing this all type of advertising? So the consumer buys are of good quality, proper weight, a very very important thing, proper weight होना चाहिए. Yes, जिसमें just give an example, 100 ग्राम पैकेट पे, लेकिन आपको दिया जाता है 95 ग्राम. There is a difference of 5 gram per packet. If the company has sold 20 such packets, हर एक ग्राम में 5 कम, 25 is 100. So without doing anything, the company is able to produce how many packet? 1 packet more. सभी में 95 ग्राम दिया है, बोल लिखा है 100 ग्राम, दिया है 95 ग्राम. हर एक पैकेट में 5 ग्राम कम. ऐसे 20 पैकेट बेचने से 25 is 100. 1 पैकेट उसका एक्स्ट्रा बन गया because it gave you less weight. If say 1 packet was costing, 1 packet is say 20 rupees, then 20 packets, 20 into 20 packets will be 400 rupees. But he will be getting 1 packet extra बेचा उसने. 420 ही किया, 420 रुपए भी मिले, right? So in this way, consumer buys the goods of proper quality, good quality, that is okay. It should have a weight also, and the prices should be reasonable. Prices should be reasonable. That is called consumer protection. Consumer protection is a movement which is undertaken to make consumers aware about their rights. Now and then you must have seen on the TV the consumer rights, consumer protection organizations, or NGOs who take part in it, right? Uh, Jago Grahak, etc. These are the popular slogans given by the consumer protection organizations, so that they are able to make the consumers aware, so that they buy things of good quality, proper weight, and at a reasonable price, and see that the consumers are not cheated, or undue advantage is not taken by the producers, the middleman, because of the illiteracy, because of the ignorance, or just because they are not aware of the quality of their goods, weight of their goods, or they are totally ignorant about these things, and the producers, middlemen, they take undue advantage of the consumers. So we'll stop over here for the day. Thank you, students.